Good morning. Today we are making the video for packet number 4. It is due on November 22nd because of the end of the trimester. So make sure that you turn it in before then if you want the ability to redo stuff. So next week Friday is when it has to be due. Turn it in early if you want to make changes. So our first page, Judy listed a 5th number with this data set of 3, 6, 7, and 10. The numbers she included made the mean of the 5 numbers equal to their median. Remember, median is middle. So whatever number you're going to add to it, you have to make sure that the median number is going to be the same as the mean. I'm going to tell you right now, I have at least 3 answers that work, so it's not just one answer, okay? Find a number that you can add into here where if you add up all 5 numbers, divide by 5, it's going to equal whatever your median is, depending on what number you add to it. So there's going to be some guess and checking on here, okay? Our second page says on a recent airline flight, there was 1 empty seat for every 4 passengers. If there were 132 total seats on the plane, how many passengers were on the flight? Some of us were working with how many passengers, but we forgot that there's an empty seat for every 3 passengers. So we have to think about how many seats altogether that is that we are skip counting by. So if there's 1 empty with 3 passengers, we have 4 seats that we're skip counting by to get up to that 132. So you have to figure out what math to do for how many empty seats. That's what I did. I found how many empty seats and then I figured out how many filled seats there would be. So I divided down and then I multiplied up. So see if you can figure out if there are 4 seats in our skip counting, right? Divide down to see how many empty seats there would be. Then you can figure out how many total or passengers there would be. On our, going the wrong way. On our 5-card challenge, I had a couple of friends notice, hey, Miss Gambino, there's an ace in here that we can use. Can I do 5 minus 3 equals 2, and then do 5 times 1 minus 3 equals 2? Yeah, they're different equations. Okay, easy way to get a really high point score when you have a 1 in here. Dividing, multiplying, okay? Lots of the exponents, lots of things that you can do with that 1 to make our point value go up really, really high. Challenge yourself. See how many points you can get. I've already had somebody in the purple group get at least 32. She was going to see if she could get more. See how many points you can get. How many equations. They have to be different equations. You can't just rotate around with the, you can't say times 1 times 1 times 1, but have all the other numbers be the exact same. But think about different ways that you can up your score. For the pattern page, we need to fill in the blue blocks and the total blocks. So for our blue blocks, in figure 1, there was 1, figure 2, figure 3, and then figure 4, there was 14. Now for my total blocks, I had 1, 6, 15, and 28. First thing I do is I look at it and say, what's my pattern for that total blocks? There could be multiple patterns in here. The one that I found, first I always look, are there perfect squares? Because I know a lot of times this page has perfect squares. There's not, unfortunately. But I look to see how did I go from 1 to 6? I added 5. Then 6 to 15, I added 9. 15 to 28, I added 13. Ooh, I'm seeing a pattern there. 5, 9, 13. Can anybody guess what our next number we're going to add is, Beckett?
17.
Yeah, because we see these are all increasing by 4s. So our next number that we would add would be what? 21. Okay, so you can fill in this total blocks. You can follow that pattern. Now, because I didn't want to have to go through to try to find all the rules, I actually filled in the green and the red columns also. So here's 0, 0. This one was 5. I know that it goes every third one. This is a 0. This is 9, 9, 9. I know every third one it's going to increase, so I could fill in for the blue and for the red. I can fill in for my total blocks. I can figure out what my next number is for the green. Fill those in for the next 3. Then I can figure out what my missing number is for the red. Fill those in. I can figure out the missing number for the blue. Fill those in. That's the way I did it. I'm sure there's simpler ways to do it. That was just the way my brain jumped to. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do this, all this math, because I know I can get the correct answer. But you only have to do the total and the blue columns. I did the rest just to help me find those missing numbers. On this page, quite a few of us have been asking me for the formulas for the circle. So when we're finding the perimeter, we know that's the outside. You know how to find the perimeter of the rectangle? The perimeter of a circle is called its circumference. To find a circumference, we do 2 times pi times r. Now pi equals rounded 3.14. R is the radius of our circle. The radius goes from the middle to the outside of the circle. What they gave us is the diameter going all the way from end to end. The radius is half of the diameter. So if we know our diameter is 14, what would our radius equal? LJ? 7. Now on your calculator, there are 2 different ways you could solve this. So there's going to be 2 slightly different answers that we can get. One way is by doing 2 times pi of 3.14 times 7, which would be 43.96. Keeping in mind that that's the circumference of a full circle. This is a semicircle. So what do I have to do? Divide by 2. You are right, Beckett. So for the circumference of the circle, I could have 21.98. The other way that we could solve this is I could say 2 times the pi button times 7, and I'm going to divide it by 2, and that gives me 21.99 for that semicircle. So it's slightly different. I always put both answers, so I know if people use the 3.14 when they're multiplying, or if people just want to press the pi button instead of typing in 3.14. You can do it either way. Okay. So you need to find the circumference of the half circle, add it to your rectangle. Then we need to find the area of our rectangle and the area of the circle. To find the area of the circle, it is pi r squared. Remember, when we square a number, it is not that radius of 7 times 2. When it's squared, it means you're multiplying it by itself 2 times. So 7 times 7. So on your calculator, you could do 7 times 7, or you could do 7 squared. You would get the same answer. Keeping in mind that that circle is a half circle, so you need to divide it by 2 before you add it to your rectangle. Our next page, we need to do the net of a pyramid. So if I cut down and I lay it flat, what is my net going to look like? And we even have an example on our back cupboard with math wall on the back. I do have that right pyramid on that, so you can see what the net's going to look like. Yes?
But that's a right square and this one's a right rectangle.
Yeah. It's going to be almost the exact same. Did I say it's exactly perfect? No. Okay. So it gives you the idea of what it's going to look like when you lay it flat. Make sure you're labeling each side. Notice that we do just have the height of that triangle, so we don't have to label the edges. We can just label the heights. Then we have to find the surface area. So in order to find the surface area, we need to find the area of each triangle. Keep in mind that the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base times the height. This is our base, this is our height. So find the area of each of those triangle sides, find the area of that rectangular base, which is actually a square, because they only give us that one side of 8, so we know that they're all 8. Okay. So find all of 5 of those areas. There are 5 faces here. Add all of those areas together for your surface area. Now we have the formula for a right rectangular prism. That formula to find its volume is length times width times height divided by 3. So we have length times width times height divided by 3. So put what that calculation is that you're putting into your calculator. Give me the answer right here. Then our question is, remember that the pyramid comes out of a cube that has the same base, width, and height. So you need to find the volume of the cube that this came out of. So the volume for a cube, remember, is length times width times height. That answer goes down here. So you don't have to divide it by 3 because we don't want the pyramid. We want that cube that it comes out of. David?
It's not a cube because 10 and 8 are not equal sides. Cube has all equal sides.
I was just going with what it says here.
Okay.
So that's why I said cube, because that was what it was in here.
Okay.
So it's going, you're taking it out of that. Okay? Next page is the one that we all have all of those questions on. So when we have Pascal's triangle, our first row is 0. Then it says on the right hand side, write each the sum of its elements. So there's just a 1 there. So here it's row 1, row 2, row 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We add across. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. This one would be 10, 15, 16. Now, finish that going down. Then it says, what is the relationship, or what relationship exists between the sum of any row and the row before it? So if I have 2 to 1, 4 to 2, 8 to 4, 16 to 8. Think about what pattern that is. Following this pattern, what is the sum for row 11? So you should be able to go to the next one, go down to row 16. You should be able to do number 4. Number 3 by far is the one that most of us are having trouble with. What is the relationship between the row number and the sum? So how can I go from 2 to 4, 3 to 8, 4 to 16? I'm going to tell you right now, exponents are our friend. So knowing that it has to do with exponents, look at our numbers. Using an exponent, how can I go from 1 to 2? Vivi? Multiplying with exponents, we are multiplying. What would I multiply? Harper? And 2 times 1 we know is 2. But 2 times 2, oh, that would be 4. 3 times 2, is that 8? No. So we have to get that exponent in there. So if I know 2 times 1 is 2 and 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is not 6. How could I use an exponent with that 2 to get to the 8 using my row number? What do you think, Eleanor?
2 to the power of 3.
What would 2 to the power of 3 be? That would be 2 times 2 times 2. Oh, mind getting blown here. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 2 to the third power is 8. What would 2 to the fourth power be? Micah?
16.
Ah, see if you can answer number 3 now. This page, we have data for that Channel 1 news programs. The question is Channel 1 News a popular program? Use specific data from this graph to support your answer. Your answer is going to be yes or no. Tell me why you think it is popular or why you think it is not popular using data from the graph. You can't just say yes or no. You can't just say, yes, there's a lot of people watch it. That's not using data. Use the data from the graph to answer your question. And our last page is that polynomial. We know how to do those pages. If you continue to have questions after watching the video, you can come and ask me. Remember, these are due next week, Friday. Have a wonderful day.